welcome to your 10/10 New Beginnings and Monthly Mastery Check-In. Just a small recap, and then we're going to do a learning flow of energy today to see where you are, since you are in such a sweet little vortex today. So want to let you know from the recap, basically, the reason why I love the end of the year is because the 10/10, 11/11, 12/12 all are your monthly mastery and your new beginning, which means that the end of the year is this accelerated, like lightning fast speed of energy that really just gives you a spiritual kick in the booty to get your stuff done. It's like, let's get in this new cycle. The new year is right around the corner and let's do this. And it's like everything just conspires to get you where you need to be. And so we get these little pockets of energy, this vortex of 10/10, the vortex of 11/11 and 12/12, and each hold their own really cool energetic signature. So with 10/10, it's all about programming. It's getting yourself clear. Who am I? What do I want? What do I want to move forward with? And how do I clear my vessel so I'm in perfect alignment to receive all of this? And then the 11/11 becomes that magical gateway where you basically walk through. It's like you walk through Alice, the looking glass, right? And like one version of you ends, that reality ends, and the new like magical, mystical Alice in Wonderland world can start if that's what you've programmed for yourself. That's what I'm programming for myself. And then the 12/12 becomes this like facing the old off with the new. It becomes this stand down of, am I really in the place that I want to be in? Is this really it's just that kind of last chance before you move into the new year and the new energy of the new cycle. And so that's why I love the end of the year, and that's why I get so excited and going to do a little bit of extra work for you here at this 10/10 vortex kind of spiraling day that you're in. So welcome, and let's get into the past. Let's get into just a review of what you heard at the beginning of the month, the video at the beginning of the month, and then we can jump into what's kind of new and what's coming down the pike for you. The red path you're coming from in September, the big completion, the grand completion month, it was all about your maturing. It was legitimately yourself, giving yourself that extra kick, that extra boost to really raise your consciousness, to step into the identity of who I am, what am I in the eyes of the world, right? So we had this grand kind of gesture, this grand moment. You should have been coming from that conscious energy of last month, and really it was a big rev for like 10 months straight of really defining, redefining. It's that fine-tuning of the self. And so this should have been kind of a lot of what came through in what your soul was bringing to the table in September. And so that's what we were coming from on the red path. And if you chose the red path, that's probably a big component of why you chose to walk the red path for October. October is all about clearing. It's all about getting in alignment. It's all about programming what we want for the November gateway. And so here in October on the red path, your mastery is all about speaking your purpose. It's about the concentration of the voice. So I work with chakras, and here at this new beginning, the conscious energy that you should be bringing into this picture, right? And the full expression of kind of the goal of your October month is the finding the harmony and the balance between the head and the heart, because this is throat chakra. And so when the head is overactive, we tend to not speak our truth. It stays in our mental field. When our heart is overactive, we tend to be so in the feeling of things and so swept up in the moment and so in the connection of everything that, again, we're forgetting a lot of times we're forgetting ourselves, and we're kind of getting swept up. And so when the head and the heart are in complete balance and alignment, we can speak our perfect, authentic truth at all times. And so this is why we're doing this month, this kind of clearing all levels and layers of who we are, all energetic centers of what we bring to the table, so that we can be in clear alignment to not only know what our purpose and our path is, but then be able to freely, clearly, and with confidence speak that truth. And so that is your mastery for the month. That is what kind of divine is coming in to tell you need to own, you need to learn, you need to really get behind that and not hold it in your thoughts. Not just feel it, but speak it. It doesn't matter what what your head thinks might be the outcome of what your voice creates. It doesn't matter what kind of fears or emotions you feel into that the voice speaking its truth might experience. It's speaking the truth no matter what. It's whatever goes here, whatever's in your head, whatever's in your heart, whatever those feelings are, you are expressing it. Do not stifle the voice, because if you stifle the voice, you lose your mastery. You lose this part of the soul puzzle that you're building for that master completion of that master human that you are. And so that is the goal of the entire month for you. And today, not only is the mastery day, but today is also the new beginning. And at the new beginning, we choose to step into and align to a new conscious energy. So remember, last month was about the maturing. It was about discovering who we are, stepping into it, and really getting that spiritual kick in the pants to live our identity. And then this month, what we should now be transitioning into is this confidence. And yes, it's all about the voice, but it's about having the confidence as the human version of you, because remember, the mastery is about the purpose. It's about the high self. It's about the crown chakra. It's about those intangibles that we know and can feel into that make up why we do what we do every day. Now for the new beginning and the conscious energy we're stepping into, it's all about the human. It's about, it's about the low self, which is really has, it deals with a lot of the fear-based programs about what you've experienced in your past when you spoke your truth and how it hurt you. When you felt certain things or thought certain things, intuitively got these hits of certain things and spoke it, and people around you called you crazy or shamed you or whatever it is. Shame's a big thing here with the human. So this is all about aligning our willpower, which is that fire in the belly. It's solar plexus energy. It's all about having the amount of courage and energy and confidence to always speak the truth. And so what kind of conscious energy this brings into the picture, it should be really active. You should have, again, it's like fire energy. There should be it's like a fire is lit behind you, and you just have energy. You're finding the energy. You might have had a big slowdown. I know collectively a lot of my friends and people that I connect to rang in and was talking about, just a few days ago leading up to today, how it was like a really introverted, subjective, internal, like people were getting really tired, lots of naps. And this is the integration phase. This is, again, when your body gets tired, trust it. It's wanting to integrate a new beginning. And so here we are at the 1010 in this new beginning energy. And so we should have a cognitive switch now where we're finding the energy, we're finding that motivation to move forward. And then this is also a really mental energy. And so new thoughts, new dreams, new desires. The head should be swimming with things, with ideas, with knowings. And so it's a really active mental energy that you should be stepping into. And so, but this is new. This is new beginnings. So again, to kind of read the story and the pattern here of what we're progressing from, last month was a maturing, and we had this really kind of lock in to figure out who we are more fully, what we're creating and what we want to create in the eyes of the world, right? And so we had this this shift, this up level, this transition, this big, it's like I always talk about the consciousness being walking the mountain of life. And so last month should have basically gotten you to the next plateau on that mountain. And now here with this next shift and click in of energy, you should be, so you went from the maturing and now you should be wanting to speak the truth. And it's maybe not wanting, but finding the confidence to speak up for yourself in that gained new level of perspective. And so that is kind of the not so quick check-in of last month. And now I'm going to read the energy for you. So I have cards laid out in front of me. So if you see my eyes going a bit crazy, it's because I'm tracking a few cards that I've already put out for this path. So this is a learning flow. We're going to read root to crown, and we're going to see what basically you need to know as you calculate and move forward through the rest of the month into the 20, which is the duality date, where you'll start to see some of those things that you're not integrating so clearly into your path. And so to read kind of just what you need to be grounded into, what kind of things you need to look out for, so that you can really stay that clear vessel and really stay open to programming the best, highest, clearest version of yourself moving into the 1111. So the foundation is all about reverence, which is remembering we have this active mind and you're manifesting this right now into your path. Your foundation is basically the building blocks and the foundation of which you grow from. And so right now it's talking about having compassion towards the mind. We just read into the monthly mastery, and the consciousness level that you're stepping into is a really active mental field. And so remember, and this is a reminder, that you're manifesting so many ideas, so many concepts, so many new thought forms, so many daydreams, so many of these. I see them as little tiny bubbles with divine potential in them, and there's like 100 of them surrounding you, and you're manifesting this. And so what people think is because you're so sensitive and you're so clear and you're so intuitive that you can tap into all of this, that when you start feeling into these bubbles, we think that all of those are divine potential to manifest into this reality, and that is not the case. These little bubbles are here to get you aligned to specific pathways. Not every bubble is supposed to manifest into your next physical world moment. And so these bubbles, these mental thoughts are all just little stepping stones that get you into clear alignment in a path, and all the little bubbles become little tiny steps that we take moving forward. And so don't grab onto any of these thought forms. Allow these things to inspire you. Thoughts are meant to inspire. They're higher energetics. And then the things that we can feel into, we should then move forward with. And so you're manifesting this, and it's a reminder to not get overly complicated in the mental arena, because you're gonna have a lot of congestion in your mental field. Stay balanced, head and heart. It's very much so head and heart to speak that clearest truth. And then for your relationships, we're all about awareness. So we're staying open, we're staying really present, and this is with your voice. So I think because one-on-one relationships are sometimes where we can make the biggest shifts. Our one-on-one partners and relationships in life, whether it's a mother and a son, a mother and a daughter, if it's sisters, if it's best friends, if it's romantic partners, if it's boss and employee, whatever kind of one-on-one partnerships you're dealing with that come up, especially for today, because today is a day where you're going to have to use your voice in a confident way. And so this is just another reminder that basically today is a relationship day, and you're going to be asked to use your voice in a really present, grounded way in front of that one-on-one relationship. And this is going to start to show you how your voice is carving this path, how your voice is basically taking all of these thought forms, ideas, and things you have here. Your voice will be the resonant factor that basically when you speak what you think is your truth, you're going to get to see how the reality around you shifts and changes. And that'll be a very clear barometer on how your path is going to move forward. Because our external reality, when we take our internal subjective thoughts and we communicate that externally, that becomes the first wave of energy that starts to clear a path for us. It really shows us how we need to move forward. When people aren't getting what you're speaking, then you realize that this thought form needs some more fine tuning and work. When people like fall in love with the words you speak, it's like, oh yeah, I've hit, jackpot here, and this is going to be something that needs to continue to work and to continue to unfold my path moving forward. So yourself, so what you need to remember and learn about yourself as we move from the 1010 to the 1020, we're on a completion cycle. This is a huge completion. Again, that was September energy, but this is just a storyline that keeps unfolding. And so what you're doing here is you're manifesting the energy again, and this is really foundational energy. It's showing this is a big finishing of a cycle, which was very resonant for last month. So I'd say whatever that maturing thing is, whatever that shift in consciousness, whatever that shift for you was last month that really gave you greater perspective over your life, whatever that shift was, this is still happening for you. This is still integrating. The more you speak your truth this month, the more that completes, the more you finish that cycle, the more the next cycle is able to start in a really clear, connected way for you come January of next year. Heart chakra is always the bridge. It shows us kind of how we get from low self to high self. Low self right now has come in to tell you your thoughts are great, but don't get too sucked into your thoughts. Stay really in the feeling sense and speak your truth. Your low self is also talking to you about your one-on-one relationships and those being the transformational moments. Today you're going to have confidence in speaking your truth. So look for that to happen in one of these one-on-one encounters you work with today. And then the low self, the human, what you're dealing with is, again, you're still in this completion phase. What you experienced as the shift of last month and kind of this big transition you've hit, it's not fully done. There's always little fine-tuning that we're finding, and so this is just a reminder that energy is still carrying through, and the more we can speak our truth, the more we're going to clear this vessel and come into that final kind of complete alignment. But it signals a huge completion for you, the human that's living the journey. So the heart becomes the bridge, the gateway to the higher energetics. And so everything we just talked about is affecting the human. This bridge is about clear intuition. It's about really getting clear. If you're doing the October programming challenge, the 30-day programming, I'd say today take a moment and go back into what your intention was. What are you trying to get clear on? What did you intend for yourself through October, and what did you want to program for yourself? I know every level, we're doing 7 levels during this challenge, and every level you have something that you're programming. And so maybe it's just going back and checking in, into those programs that you've already set up. You should have set up 2, maybe 3 at this point in the month. And so really just checking in, it's getting clear on what you want, because again, everything we've done up until this point has been and signaled this huge completion. Our voice now is this final refining tool that is like aligning things just that much more clearly to us. And so here's a really good time to check in and say, what is it that I really want? Call out to Archangel Raphael. Raphael is a fantastic archangel to bring you perspective, the greater perspective over what you're shifting into. If you have a really clear intention, maybe you're establishing your business more fully this month, maybe you need to jump up a level and see it from even a higher plateau and say, why am I working with my business so strongly this month? Whatever this intention is for you, it's almost like we want to get just a little bit more clarity and perspective so we can expand ourselves that much more fully. Now let's see why we're doing that for the higher energetics. So the learning phase that we're walking into, stability. So your throat chakra is coming in with relationships and being really present. And so I'd say understand that what you experience in the human is supposed to shake your reality. So I told you a minute ago when we were reading the low self, this sacral chakra was about awareness and speaking your truth to this one-on-one relationship to really see how your path is moving forward. And so now the higher energetics, throat chakra, is coming in and saying, when you speak this truth, just know that it's probably going to shake, it's probably going to rattle a little bit of what you've been creating as your foundation, because the stability here is, but it's going to establish a new foundation, a better foundation, a stronger foundation. So if you're somebody who's been going through relationship problems or swallowing a lot of your truths in front of your relationship because you're scared to speak your truth because of how that other person's going to interpret your truth, right? If you've been swallowing a lot of that, you can apply that to anything, to your friend. Maybe your friend's been outrageous lately and you've just been kind of letting the friend be the friend and live their moment. You've been swallowing some of those things you've wanted to say, right? Whatever this is, whatever truths you've been swallowing, today is all about having the confidence to speak those. It's come up very clear that you're speaking it with a one-on-one. And now the higher energetics, the throat chakra is saying when you do that, when you're present and you speak that truth to the one-on-one relationship, that it will probably readjust your foundation, but it's going to help to bring more harmony and stability into what you're creating with that person. The next level, the greater perspective here, the third eye chakra comes in with the artistry card, which is all about using your intuition in connection to your passion. We got this card through like July and August and even up into September. This energy was so prevalent in our fields. And so I love that it comes back up here. The greater perspective is, remember, our storyline just keeps unfolding and continuing. And so walking this path, it's a constant reminder that the head, especially because foundationally the human, what you're bringing in is so many thoughts. You've got so many ideas, so many things you have to do in your mental field, you're thinking and tapping into, that how do we remember the greater perspective here? When we have so many options and so many things we can do, it's like, how do we remember or how do we pick the things that are going to manifest the best outcome for us? And for you, this is very much so about getting into the feeling state, and don't do anything your head can think until you can actually feel it intensely, like passion, energy towards manifesting what you're thinking. And then the outcome is, don't get sucked into the illusion. The mind can play so many games here. And so it's a reminder that the mental field is phenomenal at creating potentials. But when you become this sensitive and when you're this connected to the collective, you can pull in so much information that is micro shifts for you that the collective is pulling in. That means I always used to say this as an explanation of this exact concept. Like when I would sit down in my hairstylist's chair and get into just a complete, like she'd be blow drying or cutting my hair, you just get into this like wah, wah, wah rhythm. It just becomes this really crazy, like sinking into your body. Everything, we call this an integration. All of your basically physical, emotional, mental bodies just come back into resonance with your heart. And so in that, you can start picking up on the collective energy. And so my hairstylist and I would always start thinking of the same questions and saying the same things and having the same ideas. So basically the telepathy that happens in the collective conscious. So when mental fields become so clear, which this month your mental field is becoming so clear, when you think a thought, it's not only your thought. Either the relationship, the people in the room are also thinking it. It's like when you're tapping in here, when you are so heavy in this mental field and so clear in this mental field, which everything is telling us this month, you are so clear in the mental field, you are going to start having collective conscious thoughts, which means you're not only picking up your thoughts, you're picking up the collective's thoughts, which means you're picking up the room's thoughts, you're picking up your partner's thoughts, you're picking up your kids' thoughts, you're picking up the teacher's thoughts, whatever it is. So in this space, know that if you think all of those thoughts are your thoughts, you are in the illusion of how this all works. Just because you're thinking it doesn't mean it's all about you. So allow yourself to know, and this is why we speak. This is why you're being asked to speak. Everything you think this month, you need to have compassion towards, because it's not all about you. So speak it to get resonance and see if this is me, is this you, is this us? Why is this coming through my field right now? Because sometimes a thought will come to you because you're sensitive when it was meant for somebody else, because they're not as sensitive, they're not as clear, they're not as willing to put that thought out into reality. And so the more we can speak a truth, it doesn't have to be solely our truth. As long as we think it, we speak it, and then that creates the reality for everybody involved. You are now a vessel picking up consciousness for other people, and this is how you become the teacher in this reality. So the end goal today, 10-10 in this amazing vortex, you speak your truth. Have confidence to speak your truth. It's going to come up very specifically in a one-on-one relationship, but really speak your truth everywhere, because the mastery for you this month is all about the purpose is your voice. So the more you can get this stuff, the higher stuff, out through your voice channel, the more it's going to affect and create the reality outside of you that you're looking for. So with light and love, my friends, that is your monthly Mastery and New Beginning check-in.